Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is finally out. In the last couple weeks, I've been giving my thoughts on every single Christopher Nolan film. I'm seeing the movie tonight, but first I got one more to do. I gotta give you my thoughts on Oppenheimer. I absolutely love this movie. Oppenheimer is easily one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. I think it is his most mature, his most ambitious up to this point, and interestingly enough, one of his most rewatchable. I don't typically use the word rewatchable with a biopic very often, especially not one that's 3 hours long and has such dense subject matter. But the way Christopher Nolan is able to pull it off, all of the technical aspects, it just comes together so perfectly, and it truly does make for one of my favorite movies, not only in Nolan's filmography, but maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen the film like 5 or 6 times at this point since 2023, and just every single time I am reminded how much I love it, and I'm just in awe of what Nolan and his team were able to pull off. First thing I have to talk about with this movie is the acting. Every single actor brought their A game in this film. Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, the list goes on and on. Christopher Nolan essentially got all of Hollywood in this damn thing, and it's easy to forget how many people are in this film that even just play such small bit parts. I completely forgot that Rami Malek was in this film until my most recent rewatch, and when he showed up, my jaw hit the floor. Jack Quaid, Casey Affleck, Josh Hartnett, so many well-known actors and actresses that are in this film for relatively a small amount of time, and they're still able to make such an impact. They add so much to the story, and it's amazing. Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. both give what I believe to be the best performances of their career. I absolutely love them in this film, and the fact that they got the Oscars to show for it. And Cillian Murphy especially just does it so brilliantly. You can see he doesn't even have to talk, just the little tics and mannerisms, the expressions on his face. You know exactly what is going on in his head the entire time. And this film really does do a brilliant job of putting you in his head. You can see, I'll get into this a little bit more later, but you can see the dilemmas that he's going through. You can see he's trying to process what he's doing and what the consequences could be. Robert Downey Jr. also really impresses me every single time I watch this film, and it's just so interesting how his character is really like egotistical the entire time. When he in like one of the early scenes when Oppenheimer and Einstein are talking, and Einstein walks away and looks at Robert Downey Jr. with just like a sour, disappointed look on his face. And Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr., he immediately thinks it's all about him. He, like, throughout the entire movie, he mentions that he can't stop thinking about what Oppenheimer must have said to him that day. He just immediately, his first instinct is to say, they must have been talking about me, and what did he say? I just think that is such an interesting, he plays it so well, and it's essentially the downfall of his character, and it's played brilliantly. But someone else who's equally as good as both of them in this film, I think, is Emily Blunt. I really love her in this role, and I actually think she should have been the one to pick up the Best Supporting Actress Oscar back in 2024. I enjoyed The Holdovers. I like Divine Joy Randolph. She was fine, but like in my book, looking at the other nominations, it should have gone to Emily Blunt. Her performance is incredible. It can be so restrained and so calm, and yet, like, in the trial sequences, especially in the second half, the way that she's able to stand up for herself and for Oppenheimer is great. Her little remarks are just awesome, and I love it. Like I touched on earlier, one of the main things that I absolutely love about this film is how Nolan tackles the moral dilemmas of this film and of what they are doing. For the first 2 hours, you have Oppenheimer, like, what's going on in his head is, how are we going to do this, and should we do it? Is it really necessary? What will the consequences be if we do succeed? Will it go, like, even further? Like, he and Einstein have the whole conversation of, if we do this, we might start a chain reaction that will destroy the entire fucking world. And, like, can we live with that? And, like, all of that is brilliant. And then in the last hour of the film, after the Trinity test and after they detonate the bombs in Japan, it switches to, what have I done, and can I live with myself? Like, he goes to President Truman and he says, I think I have blood on my hands. You can see the guilt that Oppenheimer goes through in the last hour of the film, in the trials. Like, he's trying to justify what he did, but at the same time, he's finding it difficult to live with his decision and is struggling to come up with why it was necessary. The movie as a whole just tackles so many dense themes and some really heavy subject matter that only a director like Christopher Nolan could handle with this much confidence and make it so accessible. I think Oppenheimer is one of Nolan's most well-written films. We all know that Christopher Nolan is an amazing director. Of course, he gets credit for being an amazing director all the time, but I think he rarely gets the credit he deserves when it comes to his writing. And this was a brilliant screenplay. I would have picked this to be the winner of Best Adapted Screenplay. It's just so well written. The way that he, like I keep saying, he makes it so accessible. A 3-hour biopic that's half in black and white about a historical figure that many people don't exactly know much about or could care less about. The fact that he makes it so, like, he simplifies it in a way that only he could, and he handles the heavy subject matter so well. I really just, it's one of his best screenplays, I think. And aside from the acting and the writing, on a technical level, the film is stunning. It is absolutely staggering. The pacing, the editing, the sound design, all of that is so well done. The visuals, when it comes to, like, a biopic or a historical movie, visuals, I don't think are really, it's not usually the first thing that someone would praise about a movie like this. But in this case, the visuals, all of the little insert cuts that we see throughout the film, in Oppenheimer's head, of seeing the lights, the particles, the explosions, like, all of that that's going through his head is very, very well done. The editing is incredible. Of course, the visuals, when it comes to the actual Trinity test scene itself, how they were able to make it, like, they were able to do it practically and make it look so damn good, was amazing. Ludwig Göransson gives one of the best scores of his career and one of my favorite scores in any Christopher Nolan film. I listened to the score on repeat. I absolutely love it. I honestly don't think there's really anything that I would even call a negative on this film. I think it is perfect, one of Nolan's best, and only time will tell if the Odyssey can even surpass it, but I really believe this is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, his magnum fucking opus. I absolutely love it, and it's going to take one hell of a film to compete with it. What do you think of the Odyssey? Let me know down in the comments below. Where does it rank for you amongst other Nolan films? I'm seeing the Odyssey tonight, so hopefully I'll be able to get out an out-of-theater reaction, but I'm also going to be getting home fairly late from it, so we'll see. And sometime in the next couple days, I will have a full review of the movie, plus a full Christopher Nolan ranking. Stay tuned for all of that. If you're new here, my name is Jesse. I talk about movies and TV all the time here on my channel. If you're interested, subscribe so you never miss out on reviews, rankings, that sort of thing, content just like this. And until my next video, like this one, and keep watching movies.